Friends, today is we came here on this very event, one very significant day, International Action Day. Today is also a China's National Day, but for the Uyghurs and Tibetans, today is a day when our motherland, our beloved motherlands, East Turkestan and Tibet, was occupied by China. Since then, our dark histories also started under the evil and the authoritarian Chinese communist regime. In 1949, our country, East Turkestan, for the first time occupied by the Chinese communist regime, and 10 years later, in 1959, China, CCP, unlawfully invaded an independent country, Tibet. Since then, our countries and the people in Tibet and also the Uyghur people in East Turkestan came under this brutal repression and the compression. Our people lost our control and of our land, also became voiceless in our own land. Since then, the Chinese Communist CCP stopped killing our people and also destroying our culture and also trying to assimilate our people to the Chinese system. Not only the Tibetan and Uyghur people under the Chinese communist regime came under pressure and also persecution and brutal killing. Tens of millions of Chinese people and innocent people in China during the Cultural Revolution wiped out just by during the Cultural Revolution initiated by the Chinese CCP. The worst situations is happening in the last several years. Although the China never stop killing our people and Tibetans in the since the occupation, but since 2017, China everywhere in East Turkestan, in our homeland, established concentration camps under the label of re-education camps or re-education center, where they rounded up millions of people who has a religious belief or a little bit different views in the eyes of the Chinese CCP, and they rounded up millions of people, and we estimate that minimum 5 million people were rounded up in concentration camps since then. And the camps where the people interned in the camps are suffering torture and the persecution and also even disappearance. And minimum half a million children in our country, East Turkestan, become orphan and lost their parents, and their parents were taken away, and the children were taken into the government-run orphanages. These brutalities not only happened in China, in East Turkestan, in other parts also in China. Especially over the last 30 years, Chinese CCP targeted religious groups and also like Buddhist monks and also the Christians and the Muslims and also Falungong practitioners, brutally killing and also using extrajudicial measures, and also extracting their organs for business. My friends, we witnessed numerous brutalities, and also many of us as we came from Eastern Turkestan, we witnessed so many crimes against our people in East Turkestan committed by the CCP. And the CCP always claim that they are actually protecting the human rights in East Turkestan, in China and in Tibet. In fact, according to their claims, Tibetan and Uyghur people and the other people are enjoying freedom and democracy, and we are having very happy life, and also we are enjoying democracy. But in fact, the reality is totally different. Whoever says or expresses their ideas or something like that, a little bit with different views, they are immediately taken away by the Chinese government, Chinese CCP, labeling them as terrorists and separatists. In the last 30, 40 years, since especially in the last 40 years, Chinese CCP invented so many labels or special words for us to label. In different times, we are called as separatists, and then since 2011, 2001, after the September 11th attack, the Chinese government, using the international slogan, they blamed us terrorists. How could it be possible for millions of people become a terrorist in one day? From a country, from an ethnic group. Our population is around, according to our estimation, is 25 million. And they rounded up minimum 20% of our population in the concentration camps. And then recently, the China CCP and their even the foreign minister Wang Yi in the recent tour to Europe, they and also the Shahret Zaki, the puppet governor of East Turkestan, they claimed that almost all detainees were released and they found a job they like. This is also a shameless lie, and everyone, all of us, witnessed that the coronavirus that originated from China, but the Chinese CCP still lied and cheat, and first of all they looked up the information and also prevented the international the independent study and the investigations of the source of coronavirus. As a result, the whole world is suffering enormous economic damage in the last few years, and also hundreds of thousands of lives, people lost their lives. This is also because of the lie of Chinese government. And lastly, Chinese government, regarding to Hong Kong, we in the last few years, we witnessed that Hong Kong, HongKongers who had enjoyed freedom and democracy under the British rule. Just less than 25 years they came under the Chinese control. Now they are deprived of their rights and freedom and their human rights, their basic human rights, and also their basic democracy and freedom came under the threat of China, Chinese CCP. So wherever the communist systems wherever the communist systems originated, wherever which country they are, they never ever brought any good things to the human mankind. They did only worse to human beings. Let alone they will do any benefit, any good things to humanity in the future. So death to communism, death to CCP, Chinese CCP. Shame on Xi Jinping. Close concentration camps. Stop genocide. Stop ends forced labor. Thank you very much, my friends. And lastly, I want to say one thing. We Tibetans and Uyghurs, like the other human beings, we also like freedom. We also like to live with dignity and also respect. And we need your support. We need the support from the people with conscience. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you very much all.
Thank you, Mr. Ubu. Next speaker will be Mr. Bakhtiar Bura.
Assalamu alaikum, welcome. My name is Bakhtiar Bura from Australian Uyghur Association and World Uyghur Congress. On behalf of Dr. Isa, President of World Uyghur Congress, one of the organizations calling today's Global Action Day. Thank you all and each of you to attend to this historic moment, Global Day of Action and the Resist CCP Freedom Now campaign. We are here represent from Uyghur, Tibet, South Mongolia, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and the freedom lover Chinese communities to one common goal: resist CCP freedom for all of us and for the world. Global Day of Action will be held 140 countries today. So I call today Solidarity Day against the evil regime enemy of mankind, and the biggest terrorist organization, CCP. CCP lying to hiding their daily evil act, but we have numbers. These numbers coming from CCP and publishing a book called White Book. In that book said since 2014, 1.4 million to 1.3 million Uyghurs and other Muslim minorities since the so-called. Please remember this. Nazi concentration camp, or they call exactly the same today. The CCP said the camp is re-education camp in 1936. Before the 1936, Nazi called this camp as a re-education camp. After the Olympic, this re-education camp became a death camp. Now, are you ready? Loud voice. Are you ready? Loud voice now. Long life freedom! Death to CCP! Freedom for Uyghurs! Freedom for Tibetans! Freedom for Mongolians! Freedom for HongKongers! Safety and sovereignty! Sovereignty and sovereignty! Thank you very much, all, and God bless you. Thank you. Let's go.
Thank you. Our next speaker will be Mr. Jin Chin.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My name is Jin Jin, chair of the Federation for a Democratic China. The Federation for a Democratic China is a political organization. It was set up in the wake of Tiananmen Square massacre in 1989. So we have this organization set up for over 31 years. We keep our commitment to terminate a one-party dictatorship in China and bring democracy to China. So we are still working on that. For the past 3 decades, the Chinese communist regime still alive in this world because of the naivety and the wrong policy of West democracies. They offer the Chinese communist regime the best opportunity to survive, to press the ordinary people in China. The Chinese communist regime committed horrendous crimes to crack down all people, different ethnic nationalities in China. Not only the Han Chinese people, but also Tibetans and Uyghurs and other minority groups. So the Chinese communist regime did a very, very nasty work to bring the world the danger and the risk. Now, since this year, early this year, the coronavirus wake up the whole world. That helped the Chinese democracy, democratic activists to wake up the whole world. We have worked for 30 years to wake up the world.
所造成是显而易见的。在中共大军压境，而国际社会又漠视西藏困境的严重形势之下，西藏政府不得不接受17的协议之不改变西藏现有制度，阿赖喇嘛和班禅喇嘛的固有地位不变的，允诺力求争取西藏的权益。但是，中共根据17的协议是顺利进军西藏，并在各重要边卡部署军队、设立军事设施之后，随着新藏公路和川藏公路的通称，17的协议已成为中共全面占领西藏的绊脚石案，公然撕毁协议内容。首先是康巴和安多地区，也就是中共所称的四川、甘肃、青海、云南藏区，开始进行所谓的民主改革，没收西藏寺院的财产，将西藏上层人士和喇嘛抓起来带到内地进行洗脑教育。若不服从， 就团体从事许多人失踪。中共的这种行为激起了藏人的强烈反抗，他们纷纷拿起武器，与中共军队和干部进行英勇的抗争。这种抗争最后蔓延到整个西藏。当1959年，中共甚至对真的达赖喇嘛的安全也构成危险时，所有藏人不分男女老幼都起来反抗中共。这就是历史上著名的310西藏抗暴活动。西藏人的抗争活动遭到了中国军队的血腥镇。
The Tibetan self-immolated in Tibet in the last 3-4 years. Because in Tibet and also in East Turkestan, we became voiceless. As we just, if we speak something against or a little bit different from the Chinese CCP, we would be blamed as terrorists and separatists. And I remember since I came to my memory in 1972, something like after the Cultural Revolution, there were so many labels attached to the people, separatists and the terrorists, extremists, and Tibetan also. They tried to express their anger and the resentment, but they were tortured, they were arrested, and then at the end, as a last desperate decision, close to 200 people, young people, old people, and the ladies and the Tibetan brothers and sisters, they decided to burn themselves. Imagine, coming to a decision is easy for human beings. People can poison themselves or electrocute themselves. It's so hard for people to decide to burn themselves by fire. So as a result, as a last resort, the Tibetan brothers in the last several years, they decided they just burn themselves. This is a hard decision for everyone. And in East Turkestan, our people, the Uyghur people and the other Turkic Muslim people in the last several years, as soon as they speak out something, or they just, even for having something, mustache or beard, they were arrested, they were taken in concentration camps. So the last thing, as a conclusion, I would just remind you of guys, China's CCP is conducting genocide against humanity, against Uyghur people in East Turkestan, putting them in concentration camps and separating children. Minimum 500,000 children became orphaned in the last 3 years, in the last 3-4 years. Imagine children, if they are separated from parents, how can be affected emotionally? How can they survive, develop their personalities in the future? So this is something like the crimes committed by the CCP in our homeland, East Turkestan, and also in Tibet. And the last thing is, I would like to say some slogans. Everyone knows communist systems is not good, is very bad, actually brought only bad things to the world, not only in China, in Cuba, in Soviet Union, and even in Yugoslavia. Every communist system collapsed, and China is the last one. Chinese CCP is the last one, and their last is numbered, definitely numbered, because any government, any authoritarian government or system, if they just try to become strong by suppressing their own people, they would collapse one day, not too far. The former president of United States, Clinton, when he came to China in his term, he mentioned one thing I still remember. Any systems, any governments who become rich or something like that, suppressing the people, that is a temporary development. China's development is temporary because they got help from the international communities and also from the Europe, from the free worlds. But they didn't know themselves. And then they became the power, and after getting a power, and they are just trying to suppress democracy, freedom, human value, and also they are influencing the Chinese, Australian policies, and also the policies around the world. This is a terrible thing. We should wake up. Australian people must wake up. We must stand against tyranny. Tyranny and can only survive in the darkness. When the sun, when the light shines up, any tyrannies disappear. Just remember, friends, that the last thing is free Tibet, free East Turkestan, free mankind, free Hong Kong, free Taiwan. Death to CCP. Shame on Xi Jinping. Shame on China. Stop genocide. Stop concentration camps. Thank you all. Thank you very much. God bless you. And now, Mr. Liga,
Thank you. I think it's great because all speakers and just come here. We stand on behalf of million people today suffering under the Communist Party of China. So we as human beings, we have a responsibility to lead the freedom. We just stand and then raise up the weapon of truth, which can cut down the Communist Party, which is policy which is not working today. But because in 1949 the Chinese Communists started and then the world's sufferers began. So we realized, and last many decades, thank you. So we holding the truth, the true weapon, and to cut down the communist system, which is always condemns people, and so we can liberate people who are suffering. So thank you from the Uyghur community and the Chinese Democratic Federation, the democratic community, and all the supporters and speakers. So we've done a lot of things, but we have more to do till bring down the Communist Party of China. And today we shouting on behalf of people who are suffering. So I really thank you for the speakers, and we have more, and then because of the COVID-19 we can't gather a lot of people here at some time, but one day definitely we can do more. So, and also thank you for the Australia government to realize how the China Communist Party of China, how the system is bad. Australia government also realizing and then initiate the thorough investigation of the COVID-19 to start from where, how, why. This is thank you for the Australia government and also those who joined that the investigation. So we as people and also we do that, have to really bring up. This is a more serious issue. And today, last 71 years before, because of the communists. So how many people actually died through this system? It's pretty much countless, millions of people died. So, but we today stand in solidarity with those people who died under the Communist Party of China.
Freedom for Hong Kong! Freedom for Hong Kong! Freedom for Hong Kong! Freedom for Hong Kong! Freedom for Taiwan! Freedom for Taiwan! Freedom for Taiwan! Freedom for Taiwan! Close the concentration camps! Close the concentration camps! Close the concentration camps! Close the concentration camps! Freedom for East Turkestan! Freedom for East Turkestan! Freedom for East Turkestan! Freedom for East Turkestan! Freedom for Tibet! Freedom for Tibet! Freedom for Tibet! Freedom for Tibet! Freedom for Hong Kong! Freedom for Hong Kong! Freedom for Hong Kong! Freedom for Hong Kong! Freedom for Taiwan! Freedom for Taiwan! Freedom for Taiwan! Freedom for Taiwan! Freedom for China! Freedom for China! Freedom for China! Freedom for China! Close the concentration camps!
Close concentration camp!
Close the concentration camps!
Close concentration camp!
Friends, we are all human. Just we are sent to this world regardless of our religious background, cultural background, and ethnic background. We are all people. We are all people. We are the same. We are created by the God with tongue, with language, with different cultures, with different religion. So we have to speak. But unfortunately, we can't speak in our homeland country, East Turkestan and in Tibet. That's very pity, very sorry for our people. But as a free country, we are here free. So all of you guys, including Chinese people, you must wake up, because CCP, communist systems, will never bring benefit, any good to you guys as well. And their development under the development of China under the Chinese CCP is doesn't long last. They will collapse one day. Definitely, for sure, that they will collapse. So thank you very much again. Free Hong Kong!
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 Free Taiwan!
Free Taiwan!
Free Taiwan!
Free Taiwan!
Free Taiwan!
Free Taiwan!
Free China!
Free China!
Free China!
Free China!
Free China!
Free China!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free East Turkestan!
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 Close the concentration camps!
Close concentration camp!
Close the concentration camps!
Close concentration camp!
Close the concentration camps!
Close concentration camp!
Free Hong Kong!
Free Hong Kong!
Free Taiwan!
Free Taiwan!
Free China!
Free China!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free East Turkestan!
Free East Turkestan!
Free Southern Mongolia!
Free Southern Mongolia!
Free 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 China!
Free China!
Free China!
Free China!
Free China!
Free China!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Hong Kong!
Free Hong Kong!
Free Hong Kong!
Free Hong Kong!
Free East Turkestan!
Free East Turkestan!
Free East Turkestan!
Free East Turkestan!
Shout out a little bit louder! Free East Turkestan!
Free East Turkestan!
Free East Turkestan!
Free East Turkestan!
Free Hong Kong!
Free Hong Kong!
Free Mongolia!
Free Mongolia!
Free Mongolia!
Free Mongolia!
Free Mongolia!
Free Mongolia!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Close the concentration camps!
Close concentration camp!
Close the concentration camp!
Close concentration camp!
Close the concentration camp now!
Close concentration camp now!
When do we want free? When do we want free?
Now!
When do we want free?
Now!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Hong Kong!
Free Hong Kong!
Free China!
Free China!
Free Mongolia!
Free Mongolia!
Free East Turkestan!
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 Free China!
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 On Xi Jinping!
Shame on Xi Jinping! Shame on Xi Jinping!
Shame
Shame on Xi Jinping!
Shame on CCP!
Shame on Xi Jinping!
Shame on CCP!
Shame on Xi Jinping!
Close the concentration camp now!
Close the concentration camp now!
Close the concentration camp now!
Close concentration camp now!
We want freedom!
We want freedom!
We want human rights!
We want human rights!
We want human rights!
We want human rights!
We want freedom!
We want freedom!
Shame on Xi Jinping!
Shame on Xi Jinping!
Shame on Chinese Communist Party!
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 Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Hong Kong!
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 Free Taiwan!
Free Taiwan!
Free Taiwan!
Free Taiwan!
Free Taiwan!
Free Taiwan!
Free East Turkestan!
Free Turkestan!
Free East Turkestan!
Free Turkestan!
Free East Turkestan!
Free Turkestan!
Free Mongolia!
Free Mongolia!
Free Mongolia!
Free Mongolia!
Free Mongolia!
Free Mongolia!
Shame on Xi Jinping!
Shame on Xi Jinping!
Shame on Xi Jinping!
Shame on Xi Jinping!
Shame on Chinese!
Shame on Chinese Communist Party!
Shame on Chinese Communist Party!
Shame on Chinese Communist Party!
Close the concentration camps now!
Close concentration camps now!
Stop killing!
Stop killing!
Stop killing!
Stop killing!
Stop torturing!
Stop torturing!
Stop torturing!
Stop torturing!
Stop betraying!
Stop bettering!
Stop betraying!
Stop bettering!
Stop killing!
Stop killing!
Stop killing!
Stop killing!
Stop genocide!
Stop genocide!
Stop genocide!
Stop genocide!
Stop murdering!
Stop murdering!
Stop murdering!
Stop murdering!
Stop the bloodshed!
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 Shame on CCP!
Shame on Xi Jinping!
Shame on CCP!
Shame on Xi Jinping!
Free Hong Kong!
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 Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free
Free Tibet!
Free East Turkestan!
Free Turkestan!
Free
Free Turkestan!
Free East Turkestan!
Free Turkestan!
Free China!
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 Free Hong Kong!
Free Hong Kong!
Free Mongolia!
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 Free Taiwan!
Free Taiwan!
Free Taiwan!
Free Taiwan!
Shame on Xi Jinping!
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 Stop killing!
Stop killing!
Stop killing!
Stop killing!
Stop killing!
Stop killing!
Stop torturing!
Stop torturing!
Stop torturing!
Stop torturing!
Stop torturing!
Stop torturing!
Stop murdering!
Stop murdering!
Stop murdering!
Stop murdering!
Stop murdering!
Stop murdering!
Free Tibet!
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 Free East Turkestan!
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 Democratic in China now! Democratic in China now!
Oh, democracy in China now!
Shame on Xi Jinping!
Shame on Xi Jinping!
Shame on Xi Jinping!
Shame on Xi Jinping!
Shame on CCP!
Shame on CCP!
Shame on CCP!
Shame on CCP!
Shame on communist regime!
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 Shame on Xi Jinping!
Shame on CCP!
Free East Turkestan!
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 Free Hong Kong!
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 Free Taiwan!
Free Taiwan!
Free Taiwan!
Free Taiwan!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free China!
Free China!
Free Mongolia!
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 Shame on Xi Jinping!
Shame on Xi Jinping!
Stop killing!
Stop killing!
And then we change it as well because the old